Well, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. This week has been, as always, busy, especially with trying to get some things done with the new house and Christmas and all the stuff that comes along with Christmas. And then work is picked up at work. It's been a little crazy. And then the stuff I do in my little business I have on the side has picked up a little bit. So, of course, it all comes together in the perfect storm. Earlier this week, I knew I wasn't going to train the first couple of days because we had Christmas, and so we ran the Couch 5K training early. Videotaped it for some friends that they needed a good Christmas present, and that was their Christmas present. Was see me running the Couch to 5K. Um, then I was at work and I slipped on some ice, and I didn't really do anything terrible, but my knee that I've had some issues with did pop. It's the only description I have for it. It felt like it had elongated and everything had just kind of come its way, twisted slightly, not real bad, but just enough for me to feel it. So I decided that even though it's been feeling a little better the last couple of days, that today would be a rest week, that I would take the week off, and I haven't done one, and I realized after I decided this that I haven't done that in a long time. I feel better when I exercise, and I used to, when I first started lifting, is I would lift for 12 weeks and take a week off, and then lift for 12 weeks and take a week, sometimes 2 weeks. If I was feeling really worn out, I would take 2 weeks off, but usually a week. And so I realized that that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I read an article online. I was surfing through and just reading miscellaneous articles, and one popped up that really hit the spot, as sometimes will happen, where it's a guy who was training for special forces, and in his training, well, I should say he'd been in the Army for a while. He had done Ranger training, I believe, and he led his platoon in calisthenics, and they were hardcore, and they did a lot of PT, physical training, over the time, and so he was gearing up to do the quals for special forces. He trained and trained and trained and trained and trained every day, hardcore, and then when he got up to the special forces quals, he made it, but he said it was the worst he had done in a long time for these quals that he was preparing for. And what he had said is basically he had overtrained. He had trained so hard without any rest or recuperation, he hadn't given his body a chance to recuperate from all the hard work. He basically had worn himself down and then qualified on basically endurance and will. Um, and that was important this week, and it happened to be very much on point for me. I needed a week to let my body just kind of heal so I can go back and train hard again. If we're going to train hard, not just train, but if we're going to train hard and push ourselves, I challenge people this week to go into warrior training online, superhero training, if you will. And I had to take a week off. But as someone pointed out, also one of my good friends pointed out that that's the tough mental part of training to be a superhero or a warrior or a Spartan for a Spartan race, is to be able to know that, hey, I need to allow my body time to recuperate from all the hard work that I'm doing. And yeah, it is hard because I want to just keep training. It's what we know, right? But I'm taking this week off. I haven't like done nothing with. I haven't been avoiding normal duties. I've done my normal work. I've done. So over at the house this week, had some good news from a couple specialists. I had a steam specialist come in and look at the heater, and I may be $7,000 less than I thought I was going to have to spend to get the house heated. And it looked like I had to replace the water main. But a plumber came in and said, well, before we do that, let's try a $200 fix and see if that fixes it as opposed to replacing your entire water main. So that's going to happen Wednesday, and that would be, $2,000 less. So I may just, by being patient and really working to find the people who know what they're talking about, may have saved somewhere in the neighborhood of $9,000. Now all that stuff is budgeted for in case these fixes don't work. That $9,000 is in place, but that would be a coup, huh? Yeah, $9,000. I don't know what you think of $9,000, but that's a good chunk of money for me. Um, anyway, those are some wins, hopefully, and even just being able to attempt them is a win. Uh, And if I can get heat in the house, I may actually be able to finish prepping it so I can get the move done on time. Now, all that said, Christmas time. Let's go to Christmas time. I had a great time. I got some interesting gifts, which it really wasn't about for me. Um, I really get to spend time with a lot of people, both family and then friends, because in the morning I went over and I was with family, and in the evening I took a little nap in between, and then I went in the evening to a dinner that friends threw that was just a big social event, and they played cards and had a lot of food. There were a couple wins there. First of all, I went, and on Christmas Eve, Christmas night, I really wanted to kind of just be a bum. Second, when they served dinner, I wasn't hungry. I'd had a big lunch, and with that big lunch and a few cookies and things, I just really wasn't hungry still because I really hadn't done anything all day. So I had a little bit of sweet potato, and I had some Brussels sprouts, and literally on a little appetizer plate. Oh yes, and I had a few appetizers. I did have a couple of bacon wrapped shrimp and a couple bacon wrapped water chestnuts. Yeah, so that was a win, because it used to be probably 4 or 5 years ago I would have eaten just because the food was good. I would have loaded up to the point where I was uncomfortable and unhappy and felt miserable because I ate too much food. Wasn't the case. I was still full from lunch, had those couple of things. I mean, I was full, more full than I usually am, but I wasn't uncomfortable. I felt like I could, go about my business and do everything. I didn't have to lay on the couch and be a bum. Although by the time I got home, since I had to work the next day, let me think. I had to go to bed pretty much within an hour of getting home so that I could get up and go to work the next day. And that's when I popped my knee. So on Christmas, though, I got one gift from my nephew that was fabulous. He knows I like to play music, and so he felt he needed to get me a guitar. Well, as we all know, guitars are very expensive. But my brother, to make sure my nephew was happy, and knowing that it would mean a lot to me that he got me such an item, got me a guitar. And this is the guitar I was given. And it is awesome. And as such, what I thought I would do, because I don't really have any notes this week, is I would play you a little song on my new guitar, which is just wonderful, as you can see. It's probably not got the sound quality of my Fender. I'll warn you that now. And the camera that I'm recording with is not really designed to have some awesome audio qualities, but I think you'll get the idea, and it's the spirit of Christmas, and I hope you'll enjoy this. This is a song that I wrote called Solitude in E minor, and it is an instrumental only. And I'll play you a short bit of it and wish you a happy new year, and we'll see you on the year 2013. All right? So if I don't remember to say it, go make a great new year, and continue working hard if you're doing some hard work, and if you're not, hey, do something that challenges you. All right? Happy New Year. Go make a great year.